Hi students, in previous class we discussed about process description and method description and what is difference between method descriptions and process descriptions. In this lecture we discuss about CASE tools. CASE stands for Computer Aided Software Engineering Tools, so which are used for developing the large systems. When large systems are developed, all documentation must be consistent. So with the help of CASE tools we develop the large systems and deliver the product to the customer, and also we deliver the documentation to the customer along with product. So that documentation must be consistent. That means, so we provide the document to the customer. In that document, suppose we mention the objects, so that object name should be same everywhere in that document. Next, tools can be used to automate a large number of tasks. So by using tools, we execute the tasks automatically. So that means the CASE tools provide the automation techniques for executing the tasks. The computer aided tools can be lead to massive productivity improvements. So that means definitely the CASE tools are provide the automation techniques. So with the help of that automation techniques, we can increase the productivity of the product. So and also these CASE tools are provides the development various development strategies. With the help of that various development strategies, based on the based on the development strategies, we increase the productivity of the product. Next, we discuss about object. Objectory is a modern development technique. With the help of this technique, we develop the software. Actually, this objectory technique has some properties. That properties are it suppose the iterative development. So what do you mean by iterative development? Iterative development is nothing but first we collect the total requirements, and we prepare the SRS software requirement specification, total software requirement specification for the total project. That project will be divided into sub parts. So each part will be developed in the iteration manner. That means in iteration 1 we develop the one part of the same product, next iteration to one another sub part of the same product. So in that way we have to develop the product. This process will continue until we reach our total product, entire product. That means and so we develop the part of the product in each iteration. That iteration follows the life cycle of the product, that is software development life cycle. So that life cycle consisting of all activities, that means analysis, construction, and testing. So in each iteration we perform all these activities for developing the part of the product. So in iteration 1 we develop the part 1, iteration 2 develop the part 2 of that same product. So next, each iteration has changed to a existing system. So in iteration 1 we develop the version 1 of the product, same product. So in iteration 2 we develop the version 2. So that is the extension of the existing one. That means we change the existing system and that will be developed as in the next iteration. That product is called version 2. Next, coming to it, suppose the entire chain from changed requirements to the functioning system. So that means in iterative development we can specify the all requirements at initial stage. So based on that specification we can develop the product in iterative manner. But coming to changed requirements, so suppose the user may change the requirement at any time. So that time we can add the requirement to the existing specification, SRS, software requirement specification document, and we can develop that new requirement in the next iteration of that product. Next, this objective factory for software development. It is a software development technique. So that software development technique provides the framework. That framework is nothing but a design technique. So the design technique we designed designed with the building blocks. So that building blocks has it viewed as a number of connected blocks, each block representing a system service. So actually we can specify the all requirements, that is functional requirements and the non-functional requirements in the initial stage. So that functional requirements is that requirements are nothing but that requirements are implemented in the next phases. That means that provide the services, that provides the system service. So each and every building block is nothing but that is a so that consisting of various service packages. That services packages are implemented in the coding phase. So that service packages are actually, it is converted into the building block that will be stored in the production department. So you see, we studied, we discussed in the previous lecture the sales department, production department and development department. We have three processes. First, sales department orders the product configuration. Based on that product configuration, we develop the based on that product configurations, the production department will produce the product to the customer. So in coming to system development, the system development develop the new requirements. That new requirements developed as a service packages. That service packages will be converted into building blocks. So that building blocks are that implemented building blocks are sent to the production department. So based on that order of product configurations, the production department combine the all building blocks and finally the production department produce the product to the customer. So coming to object tree, that object tree technique has building blocks. So that building blocks provide the services, system services. So that means the building blocks representing as a system service. So in the object tree method. So this object tree technique, it is used in various systems. That is information systems, real-time systems, process control system, case tools and graphic representation system. So the next, coming to the object tree, it is improved significantly with the help of by adding two other techniques. The two techniques are conceptual modeling and programming languages, or that is object oriented programming. By adding these techniques to the building technique, we can improve the object tree technique. So the object tree technique has been simplified and scaled down for application. So based on that application, we can scale down and scale up the object tree technique. Suppose if it is small project, we can scale down the object tree method. Suppose if it is a large project, we can scale up the object tree method. So next, it has three design techniques, that is building blocks, conceptual modeling and object oriented. With the help of these three techniques, we can improve the quality of the software as well as we can develop the cost effective software. Next, the conceptual modeling extended with object oriented concepts and ability to describe dynamic behavior. Actually, the conceptual modeling, that means in which it is a structured approach. Coming to object oriented design, in which we specify the behavior of the system. But coming to conceptual modeling, we mention the functions. But coming to object oriented modeling, we mention the objects, we mention the entities, and we build the communication in between entities by passing the messages in between objects. So finally, the object oriented technology describes the dynamic behavior of the system. So we extend the conceptual modeling with the help of object oriented modeling. That object oriented approaches describe the dynamic behavior of the system. So these are the very important questions of the unit 1, that is discuss the characteristic of system development. So system development characteristics are large part of the system development is a large part of the system development activity. Next, requirement or input to the system development. Next, system is a output from the system development, and other characteristics are that is what are the parties, various parties are interested in the system development. These are the characteristics of system development. System development itself one characteristics of the system development. Next, objectory. Objectory is nothing but a software development methodology. By using this objective software development methodology, we can develop the good product. Coming to this, participating parties in the system development. So what are the interested parties in the system development? For example, direct users, indirect users, customers, various departments of the enterprise. These are the interested parties in system development. Next, detail about waterfall model with need diagram. That is, waterfall model is nothing but it is a software development methodology. With the help of software development methodology, we develop the product. So it is a sequential model, so in which the steps are arranged in the linear order. So coming to this activities of building construction, various activities are there. That is, there are three activities are there. First one is creative process, construction, and long-term support. So characteristics of the system development is a larger part of the activity. That is, system development is a larger part of the activity of the organization or company. That is first one. Next one is requirements or input to the system development. Next, system is a output from system development. Next, what are the various interested parties in system development? What are the peoples are involved? So how many peoples are? What are the various peoples are involved in the system development? So these are the characteristics of system development. So this is about Unit 1, and next lecture we discuss about Unit 2.